uppercut, uppercut, sonic boom.
Well, hello there, humans, bees, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it to. Welcome back to the channel, and we're going to be talking about the sad nerf that is coming to our good friend, the DP-28. The dinner plate 28, the double penetration elation that is the Big Dog 7.62 LMG. They've got a thing for LMGs at the moment. They've neutered the M249 and they're about to neuter the DP-28. By them, I mean the people who make this beautiful game. The developers, the balance experts, whatever the case may be. The DP-28 is getting hard nerfed. I went to the beta server, I ran some tests. I'll show you some footage in a second. But anyway, I'm going to show you some gameplay while I talk to you. That's my hands up in the top right corner. Beautiful hands. They're nerfing the damage to headshots. They're nerfing the bullet speed of the weapon, which is pretty significant. They're nerfing, even more importantly, the damage drop-off at range. And the reason I say more importantly is because that's a real key indicator of what they're trying to change with the weapon. How do I know these numbers? I went and did all the stuff. It took me forever to find a bot with enough health for me to shoot him in the head with a level 2 helmet, and also to find a DP-28 on the test server. And then I went and ate a grenade, and then I went to the range and I timed out the bullet speeds and everything like that. And I can tell you now that these numbers are pretty atrocious. The bullet speed is down from 714 meters a second on live to around 630 meters a second on the test. The damage to headshots is down from 110 meters on live, 110 damage base on live to 105 damage on test. And this is troubling because bullet speed is the golden standard for accuracy. If you have high bullet speed, it is very easy to lead targets at long range. Why do you think the M416 is so popular? It's not just that it's got a super low recoil profile, it's that the bullet speed is so high. The DP's bullet speed is 714 meters a second on live. On test, it's going down to about 630 meters a second. That means you are going to be less accurate at long range with the DP-28. And that's significantly less accurate. You're now going to be firing out a round that is slower than the M762 barrel at range. It also is going to have higher damage drop-off. At the moment, if you shoot at 0 meters away with a DP-28, on live you're doing 47.8 damage. The AK does 47.9. Don't ask me why there's 0.1 difference there. I don't know why they did that. At 300 meters, that might go all the way down to 45. That drop-off is going to increase tremendously with the DP-28 when they go with these changes that are currently on the beta. So it's going to be less accurate at range. It's going to do lower damage on headshots at range. The 110 is the base at the moment. It's going to go down to 105, which means, you know, your headshots are going to be worse. You're going to have a less accurate gun. It's going to do less damage to every part of the opponent at range, not just their headshot. It's going to be neutered, and I don't really understand it. I am not against the changes if they are in force across the board. There are buffs coming for the Mini 14, the SKS, the SLR, the BSS. These are DMRs, designated marksman weapons. They are changing the way they work by buffing them, and I've been saying that's coming for a long time. It's taken a lot longer than I thought it would. And these changes to the DP-28 indicate a willingness to remove some of the competition for those weapons at range, okay? But if you're changing the DP-28, all you're going to do is turn the people that are using that currently for a long-range DMR spray weapon into M416 sprayers. So rather than have less people using full auto spray at range, we're going to have more people. Now, this is my opinion. This is just one man's opinion, but I feel like I've got a pretty handy grasp on the meta of PUBG Mobile and the way the weapons work, because I do the numbers and I run the tests. If someone likes running AAR and they like running DP-28 and Barrel M762 for a bit of dirty mortal action, then they are just going to switch up to an M416 or a Scar L in the second slot and spray at range with those weapons instead. They are not going to grab a Mini 14 or an SKS. Why would you think that you would completely changed the play style of the player base by changing the DP-28 and not touching the M416. I'd really like to point out too here that I don't like sounding like a broken record when I talk about the M4. It's an odd one for me that the M416 is in the game the way it is in the game, and this guy's back with me. I don't know what he was doing the whole time. But I have suggested for such a long time that damage drop-off over distance be applied to all ARs and full autos, because if you drop off damage over distance, you will make the M762, the M416, all those kind of weapons less valuable as pseudo DMRs. And you will give Mini 14s and SKSs and SLRs and all that a big boost. Well, they haven't touched the M4, so why would anyone bother using the Mini 14? They haven't touched the M4, so why would anyone going to bother using the SKS? It's a very odd way of changing the way people play the game. And I don't understand why now is the time that the DP-28 is getting nerfed. Like, why is now the time that the DP-28 is getting nerfed? It's been like this the entirety of the game. My issue is I love the choices that you have in the game. If you want to run a sniper rifle, that's fine. You don't get that full auto spray frame. If you want to run the sniper rifle and you want to run a Mark 14 or a Barrel M762 with that, or an Uzi or something like that. You want to run an M416 and a 3X, you can do a little bit of everything. It's a versatile loadout. But it feels like those challenging questions that you get asked when you're selecting your loadout are being removed from the game. And I don't like that at all. I think there should be more, the game should contain more weapons that are viable at the same level as the M4. And not less of them. I want to point something out to you. The M416, the Scar L, the AUG A4, the G36C, the QBZ95, they all have exactly the same rate of fire now. They all have exactly the same rate of fire. They all have exactly the same damage. There is no difference on the damage on any of those weapons. It is incredible to me that we are able to have so much versatility in the old school 7.62 weaponry. The AKM has been touched up and buffed and nerfed and buffed so many times. The M762 has been buffed and nerfed and moved and jiggled around, and now the DP-28 is taking it between the eyeballs. And yet, what in the hell is happening? The Scar L, never been touched. The M416, never been touched. Like, they've been operating at full functionality the entirety of the PUBG Mobile multiverse. Why now do we need to neuter the DP-28 and remove another versatile weapon from the game so that everyone starts running the same loadout? Are we going to end up with an Uzi or a UMP and an M416 on landing? Is that what we're going to get in our backpacks? I really don't like it. I don't like it at all. I am dead against it. And it's something that I think is a step backwards, a big step backwards. If you want to incentivize people running DMRs, you've got to incentivize them by making them the best option. For most people, they're not. And they're not going to be the best option just because you made the DP-28 a steaming pile of turd. Now, I think PUBG Mobile do a fantastic job. The amount of content that you can get to and access in this game is insane. And this is from a guy that's been gaming for well over 30 years online. Like, think about that. Been gaming for over 30 years online, and I've never come across another game that pours as much content into the game itself. As many modes, as many options, as many different events and, you know, crossovers. It's incredible. I don't think they always get it right, and I think this is one of those occasions. And so I'm going to call it. Will I keep playing? Yeah, I still love the game. Love it to bits. Will I keep using the DP-28? No. Anyway, I'm Bushka. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves. Stay safe in the battlefield. There's going to be a lot of content coming down the pipe. We're going to be doing all the videos from the buffs and the nerfs. And full disclosure, if this doesn't get to live, if they change it, if they moderate the nerfs a touch, then sure, this may not be as relevant, but I don't think that's going to happen. I understand a lot of you don't care. I understand a lot of you would just rather run M416 sprays all day long. I'm not one of them. I want the diversity in the game. I want better gunplay than we already have, and it's possible. And this game has the best gunplay of any mobile shooter out there by a quadrillion %. Look after yourselves. Stay safe on the battlefield. As always,